Welcome everyone. Before we dive in, be sure to drop your thoughts, feelings, and lessons in the comments below. Like the video and subscribe, so you never miss stories like this. Let's get into it. The cruelest thing he did was cheat on me, steal my car keys, and laugh in my face while I cried. Then he drove off in my only ride like my pain was a joke. Here's how it happened. I'm a black woman in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I loved a man who treated love like something he could borrow, break, and return whenever it suited him. I used to think the worst day would be finding out he had someone else. I was wrong. The worst day was realizing he enjoyed humiliating me, then watching him leave me stranded with nothing but swollen eyes and an empty driveway. His name is Darnell. I won't say his last name because I'm not trying to go viral, I'm trying to breathe again. We'd been together 3 years, long enough that my friends called him my husband, even though the ring never came. He always promised it was coming after this next raise. I believed him because I loved him, and because he was good at that soft-voiced future talk. You know the kind. Baby, when I make it, you make it. Meanwhile, I was the one paying the late fees, buying groceries, and keeping the lights on when his checks mysteriously disappeared. To be fair, it wasn't all misery at first. We had real romance, warm, goofy, black love moments that made me feel safe. Like the night we got caught in a sudden rainstorm downtown and ran into a little diner, dripping wet and laughing so hard we couldn't breathe. The waitress handed us napkins like we were toddlers, and Darnell wiped my forehead with this dramatic tenderness, acting like he was in a movie. Later he slid into the booth beside me and held my hand under the table like it was a secret. That version of him was sweet. That version kept me hopeful. We also had funny little rituals. Every Friday we do home date night because he claimed restaurants were a scam. He'd cook his famous lemon pepper wings and play old school R&B like he was a DJ on a grown folk station. Then he'd grab a spatula like a microphone and serenade me while I rolled my eyes. I'd laugh and throw a dish towel at him, and he'd catch it with a grin like he'd been practicing. Those nights felt like building something. I didn't realize I was building alone. The car part matters because my Honda was my lifeline. It wasn't flashy, but it was paid off. My name, my title, my insurance. I used it for work, errands, everything. Darnell didn't have a car because he'd rather invest, which sounded smart until I realized his investments were mostly sneakers, energy drinks, and a constant supply of new plans. Still, I let him drive my car to work sometimes because I loved him and because he was convincing. He'd kiss my forehead and say, "You holding me down, baby." I thought that was partnership. His promotion ceremony was coming up in Atlanta. He'd been bragging about it for months. Every conversation somehow circled back to him leveling up. He practiced his handshake in the mirror. I'm not joking. He'd stand there, clasping his own hand, nodding like he was meeting a CEO. I teased him, and he pretended to be offended, then pulled me close and said, "When I'm management, you gon' be my first lady." It was corny, but it was romantic in a way that made me melt. I pictured us dressed up, laughing in a hotel lobby, finally on the same side of life. Then the weirdness started. He got protective of his phone in a way that didn't match his personality. Darnell used to leave his phone around like it owed him money. Suddenly it was glued to his hand, screen down, notifications off. He'd walk away to take calls, then come back with a too bright smile. I didn't want to be the suspicious girlfriend. I told myself I was imagining things. I doubled down on being supportive, packing his lunches, buying him a fresh button-down for the ceremony, telling him he looked handsome even when he was acting strange. I thought love meant patience. Turns out, love also means paying attention. The night everything broke was a regular Tuesday. I got home early because my boss let us out after a slow day. I planned a cute surprise. Candles, leftover wings, his favorite playlist. Corny, yes, but I liked romance that lived in real life. I was setting the table when his phone buzzed on the counter. I wasn't snooping at first. My eyes just landed on the preview because it lit up so bright. The message said, "I miss you. When can I see you again?" My stomach dropped like an elevator with a cut cable. I stood there staring, hoping my brain would rearrange the words into something innocent. It buzzed again, where that gray sat, the one that makes you look dangerous, smiling face with horns. I felt heat crawl up my neck. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. I didn't even recognize the number. I clicked it, my heart screaming at me not to, and saw a thread full of inside jokes, late-night meetups, and pictures I didn't need to see to know what they were. The candles on my table flickered like they were laughing at me too. I sat down hard, like my legs gave up. When Darnell walked in, he saw my face and instantly knew. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just said his name and held up the phone like it weighed 1,000 pounds. He stared at it, then at me, and something cold replaced his usual charm. "You going through my phone now?" he asked, like I was the criminal. I said, "Are you cheating on me?" He shrugged, actually shrugged, and said, "You're doing the most." Then he smiled, a mean little curve like he was entertained. That smile hurt worse than the messages. I started crying, quiet at first, then ugly. The kind of crying you can't keep pretty, the kind that comes from betrayal and exhaustion. And this man I'd fed and encouraged and held, looked at me like I was a joke. "Here you go," he said, laughing. "All that crying. You always crying." I begged him to just tell the truth, to be human for 5 minutes. He grabbed my keys off the counter, jingled them like a prize, and said, "I'm not doing this. I got work in the morning." Then he added, "And you ain't about to trap me with your tears." He walked out of my car while I stood in the doorway in socks. The taillights disappeared like a cliff edge. I called him straight to voicemail. I texted him, green bubbles with no response. I waited for him to come back because my brain still wanted to believe in the version of him who sang into a spatula. Midnight hit. Then 1 a.m. Then 2. My eyes burned. In the morning, the driveway was still empty. I called his best friend, a man who'd hugged me in my own living room. He laughed and said he good. He with us. Like I was a punchline. The next few days were humiliation on top of heartbreak. Darnell blocked me on everything except Cash App, which felt like a joke from the universe. His mom messaged me telling me to stop stressing him out and be a lady. One of my own friends told me, "Maybe you should have been calmer." That hurt in a different way, the kind that makes you feel crazy for having feelings. I was walking to work because I didn't have my car. I cried in the bathroom at my job until my face looked like I'd lost a fight. I kept thinking, how did I become the villain in my own life? I heard through the grapevine he was driving my car around Charlotte like it belonged to him, posting it on his story with captions about new energy. He even parked it outside a bar where he knew my cousin worked. My cousin sent me a photo, my license plate, my bumper sticker, my whole life sitting under neon lights like a trophy. I wanted to do something reckless, slash tires, throw a brick, scream in the street. But I didn't. Not because I'm better than anyone. Because I knew I'd regret giving him the satisfaction of watching me fall apart. He wanted me messy. I decided to get methodical. The funny part, because life is strange, is that during my lowest week, small things kept me afloat. Like the Uber driver who picked me up one morning, saw my puffy eyes in the mirror, and said, "Sis, whoever did that to you got weak ankles. Life gone trip em." I laughed through tears because it was so random and so true. Or the lady at the bus stop who handed me a tissue without asking questions, then started cussing under her breath about ragged men like she was doing a community service announcement. I wasn't okay, but I wasn't alone either. I started quietly rebuilding. No dramatic announcements. No glow-up videos. Just private steps. I went to the DMV with my title and registration. I called my insurance. I filed a report the right way, with facts and documentation. I gathered screenshots of him admitting he had the car, messages from people who knew he had it, and proof it was mine. Then I opened a new bank account at a different branch, switched my direct deposit, and changed my passwords like my future depended on it, because it did. I found a cheap used car option through a coworker's cousin, and I saved every extra dollar like it was oxygen. Meanwhile, Darnell was getting louder. He told people I was bitter. He told coworkers I was crazy. He even had the nerve to text me from a new number. "You really trying to mess up my promotion?" No apology. No accountability. Just blame. I didn't respond. I learned silence is a kind of strength when someone feeds off reaction. He wanted a scene, a meltdown, a chance to paint me as unstable. I gave him nothing but paperwork. In private, I still cried. I cried in the shower, in my pillow, in my car search tabs late at night. But every morning, I got up and kept going. The promotion ceremony finally came. Atlanta. A hotel with glass doors and valets, and a big corporate banner out front. Darnell was there dressed up like he was about to be crowned. He pulled up in my Honda, parked it right in front like a flex, and stood outside laughing with coworkers. I didn't go. I didn't need front row seats to my own justice. What I did have was a case number, confirmed ownership, and a recovery process already in motion. So while he was practicing his humble smile, a tow truck turned the corner slow and steady like a decision that had already been made. The tow driver walked up, professional as a doctor. He checked the plate, confirmed the VIN, and spoke in a calm voice that carried, "This vehicle is being recovered. Registered owner is verified." Darnell laughed at first, this fake, loud laugh, like he could clown his way out of consequences. Then the hook chains clinked, and the car started lifting. The smile drained out of his face like someone pulled a plug. His supervisor stepped outside, confused. People started whispering. Somebody asked, "Why would your girl report the car?" Darnell snapped. "She petty," loud enough for everybody to hear. Still no remorse, just more cruelty. But cruelty doesn't stop a tow truck. After that, my life didn't turn into a movie. It turned into peace. Darnell had to figure out transportation, explain the situation at work, and live with the fact that his mask slipped in front of people who mattered to him. Karma didn't need my hands, it just needed me to stop protecting him from consequences. As for me, I got my car back, got my finances untangled, and moved into a smaller place that felt like safety instead of anxiety. I started laughing again, quiet laughs, real ones. I fell in love with my own calm. Don't confuse patience with permission. And never let someone's disrespect talk you out of your own power. Handle it right, handle it quietly, and let reality do the rest.